Hi there everyone, Soulstorm17 here. Let me approach like usual. I made the thumbnail, done the pictures, not paid video. Alright, okay. So, I basically, some people were asking for part 2. I was like, okay. Um, so, just to let you guys know, I kind of am gonna, have Izuku sort of maybe expose himself, not really like expose. I mean, like, he kind of already did if you really think about it. Like his Imperial arm, he can't tell them he has one without exposing who he is. So, hey, they're gonna find out he's not from their world. And if you guys are wondering if there's gonna be a ship for this one, there is. But the thing is, it's not. It's no one from Night Raid. There's a reason why, because I think it'll be quite interesting that because he's gonna bring the girl he's gonna be liking this what if into the My Hero Academia world. And the thing is, there's some stuff that's I'm adding some stuff in later on, but that's all you guys need to know. It's nothing really big change, but yeah. So, and I'm gonna be like giving him a sword, even though he doesn't need it because of the Cerberus Fang, which will just be one sword. But he will have a sword because his one no one's realized his opponents that he has a imperial arm, and it's just because why not? I mean, technically he doesn't even really need it, but just imagine. Doesn't even freaking matter. You just put he'll just basically put fire on it, though. Basically, when he goes full Callan, fire will come off of him, and then he'll just can put it on the sword. You know. Yeah. Okay. So enough of me talking. This is What If Deku Got Isekai'd, Part 2. So, as Deku arrives back at the base. Oh, wait. Actually, I did find out about how to pronounce. It was Leone. And I'm just gonna say, the boss, like I said, in part 1, but Najine? Najine? Yeah, let's just say it like that, Najine. Basically, the boss. Yeah, I was really beating myself over that one. But anyways, like I said, as he arrives back at the base, as Akami and Leone are in front of the boss, aka Najine, as he goes, I took him down pretty easily. He really did piss me off. Which, well, the boss says, "Good job, Izuku. But we have a couple of questions to ask you." He goes, "Yeah? What is it?" Well, Akami and Leone were there when you killed him. You said some pretty interesting things. So please, tell us, do you have Imperial arms on you? And he goes, huh? What the hell is Imperial arms? Which, well, they're. I mean, he's basically playing dumb, and basically, you know who, basically, aka the other users, along with Cerberus. Well, their users say you shouldn't be lying to them, they're your teammates, and Cerberus says you can trust them. You have to have their trust, or they'll try to kill you. And we both know they won't be able to. As he goes to himself, yeah, you're right. I'd rather do it when they're all here, because I don't want to explain twice. So, well, after he basically says it on his head, he just sighs. He was like, fine. I'll tell you guys. I'll tell you everything about me, okay? But I am not explaining it twice. So, well, we're gonna wait for the other people to come. Their members. Wait, hold on real quick. In which the boss says, alright, that's fair enough. But anyways, tomorrow you basically would have training with mine, and Zuko was like, are you serious? Her? Ah, she's like the most brightest person on this team. Hope she doesn't piss me off. Which, well, then Akami goes up close to him, basically. He was looking to his left, I mean, to his right side, and he looks to his left because he had his arms crossed, and he was like, huh? What are you looking at? She goes, tell me, how are you able to catch the blade without your armor? He goes, oh, that'll be explained too. Don't worry about it, Akami. Anyways, I'm gonna go train. Which, they're like all confused, so then Leone will be like, wait, you're gonna train at night? Why? He goes, it's better off if I do it at night. Ugh, I'm technically tired, but it's not the first time I stayed up all night. Won't be the last. I'll sleep sometime in the morning. Which, they're just like all confused. So basically, Izuku goes into the forest. And he goes, alright, Cerberus, so, how do I get stronger with you? As quickly as possible. As Cerberus then answers with this, he goes, well, you can manifest the gauntlets, but you have to call out the name. Cerberus Gauntlets. And, unlike your one for all, we made a certain way for you to increase your power with us. The bond method. The more you interact or talk to us or use our weapon, basically, we increase the power. Right now, since you've been doing that with me, talking and interacting with me, when you first had it, when you first were given the gauntlets to be a part of you, you already were at 2%. But since it's been a couple of days, and every time we talk, you increased it up to 25%. You're able to manifest, well, chains with your black whip, and be able to go through the shadows, into the realm of shadows, only which our beasts, the shadow beasts, can go into. Each one has a different way of traveling it. Me, I usually would run through a gate of shadow, and a pathway will be shown to where I need to go. And Izuku goes, I see. Leviathan will swim, as dragon will fly. He goes, exactly. Alright, I get it. So, let's get training. As then he yells out, Cerberus Gauntlets! As both the gauntlets appear on his, arm, basically. As he goes, they're light. Thought they could be a lot more heavier. He goes, Zuko, they are a part of you. That does not mean, well, they would have been heavy. Remember that. He goes, yeah, gotcha. So, let's start training. As Zuko basically just starts punching trees, and then he even kicks one of the trees. Basically, as he realized, the gauntlet went right to his foot, and basically he kicked the tree, breaking it in two. He's like, what the? He goes, oh, yes. Even though they're gauntlets, they will switch to any part that's about to, let's say, your foot, and become a boot. He's like, you serious? He goes, it sometimes happens. Anyways, continue on. So basically, he keeps on punching down trees and stuff, fighting, them, and he just says, this isn't a good thing. They're just not moving targets. I have to train with someone, or at least help them make a training area for me. Anyways, what's the transformation with your with the gauntlets. Everybody saying Cerberus then answers saying the Cerberus sword, or well, that's the short term name, but technically the real name is Cerberus Fang. It's, well, a sword that can basically cut through anything. Near anything, actually. And it's very difficult to control. He goes, what do you mean? Well, it seems sometimes, since it's me, it would, or should I say, I would want to cut and consume anything in the path of the blade. So he goes, I see. Gotcha. So basically he says, Cerberus Fang. As both gauntlets disappeared, it just turned to a sword. As he goes, the three heads that were on the gauntlets. Basically, I never explained how the gauntlets are. Basically, the gauntlets are look like an actual armor piece, like an actual imagine the balance breaker. I mean the balance breaker, the boosted gear for Issei, but instead it's mixed with it's mixed. Yeah, imagine it's Issei's boosted gear mixed with a I had an idea. I guess this could be just that, but way more. Okay, so basically how it goes is it looks like the boosted gear for Issei. There's no crystal in the middle. Instead, there's three heads of there's three heads basically on the gauntlet, and when it goes to part of his arm and almost to his elbow, there's like a little basically there's like a little lip there basically and everything. So yeah. So that's all I can say, and that's but both for their looks, and basically they had chains and looks like the mouth of the both all three heads have chains in them. So yeah. Anyways though, but the blade it just has the three heads where the teeth look like it's turned into the blade, and basically the whole entire grip looks like a chain, and well. It just looks, how can I say this? Also, there's a guard for it, but it goes into a circle all the way to the blade. I mean, all the way to the butt of it, basically. So, Azuku basically just says, alright, let's test this out. So he cuts down a tree, and it was so simple. It just says, this thing glide. Cut this with butter. Man, I wonder what it can really cut through. I mean, I know you said anything, Cerberus, but seriously, this thing's a work of beauty. And the craftsmanship. Wait, do I have to? He goes, nope, you don't worry. It will never chip. Believe me. The last partner of mine was very impressed with it, but he mostly used the gauntlets. Now, practice with this for 100 times, 1,000 swings. Alright? So Izuku does, nod, right. So basically he, basically does 1,000 swings. That takes about 2 hours. Then basically Cerberus says use the gauntlets again. But this time, use one for all, full cowling. In which Izuku nods and does. So, basically, all the past users are watching this, as then all of a sudden he goes full cowling 10%. And there basically he sees a little bit of flames coming off them. He goes, what the? Wow, this is weird. Kind of cool. So, what else? Slowly increase the percentage of one for all. And, stop to at least 50. He goes, right. So Izuku is charging up, and well, the more he charges, the flames are getting a little bit brighter and hotter. As basically at 50%, the flames have changed almost to basically, well, have changed color from red, you know, to blue, to light blue, um, to then I think green, and yeah, just a green. That's all. He was, wow, what's the max flame? I mean, what do the flames look like if it's at the max? Whereas in Cerberus says, probably purple or violet, whatever that color is. And he's like, huh, why not black flames? He was like, that's Diablo's thing. I can only go with that far. His flames are more hotter than mine. I see. Alright. Should I try to? He goes, yes, let's see how much destruction power you have. So Izuku basically throws a punch, basically just a rather short smash. As when he does throw it, it looks like a wave, just like a wave of fire, basically shoots forward and cuts right through the forest, all the way up to a mountain, making a hole in it. Izuku's eyes are widened. He was like, holy shit. That is awesome. And dangerous, but awesome. I better get going before everyone else realizes it. Basically, Cerberus nods, and he was like, wait, how do I... And all of a sudden, he just says, think of them not being there no more. As then, basically, they just disappear after he says he thinks of them not there. So, he basically just runs back, deactivates one for all, and just basically get back to the base, and he was like, okay, that's gonna be hard to explain. Jesus Christ. Jesus. Shit. So, Izuku gets to his room and falls asleep. When he wakes up, he found out there was intruders, and that he has to, basically kill them. In which he doesn't really mind. So, what happens is simple. The whole time, everyone's going after the same, people as they did in the anime. As Izuku's taking the place of Tatsumi, so he's with Bulot. So Bulot just tells him to call him bro or something else. So he just says, I'm gonna call you bro. Besides, you remind me of my friend Kirishima. He goes, huh? Kirishima? He's like, explain later. Let's go kill these bastards. Which Bulot goes like, alright, but now we're talking, basically. He was like, wait, let me show you something. And basically he goes, Cursius! Cursius, I think? Yeah. As basically then he basically has his armor appeared and he was like, this is my imperial arms, what you think? He was like, huh, nice. It's really cool. He was like, you're seeming way more emotional today, huh, Izuku? It's like, yeah, it's just when I get on assassination missions, I'm a little bit more serious. So, and this is a mission. So let's get this over and done with. As he nods. So basically, Bulot's taking care of the ones that were about to attack him. I think it was 4. As Izuku has a little bit more, so he basically like, no sword? Where is it, kid? He was like, I don't need no sword to kill you. I'm sorry for what's gonna happen, but you need to die. In which they all, the ones, like, they just, basically, the guys that are in front of him just start laughing. There's 5 of them. He's like, there's 5 of us and 1 of you. What are you? As then Zuko just disappears. 10% of one for all. Punches the dude. Face, neck, his head spins a little. And they're like, what the? And then basically he just kicks the other dude, sending flying through a tree. In which then, he basically elbows the guy in the chest with that with his left arm. And then the guy who's in front of him, he basically just throws the punch into his chest, basically both shattering the bones that to go into his heart. Yeah, if you really think about it, My Hero Academia characters are way more stronger than any, are way more durable, really. So these guys who have nothing but no like quirks and stuff. So I think they would be dead in just by him going 10%, maybe even 15. Well, maybe overkill 15 or 20. That is how much weak they are. I think they are to My Hero Academia because people like they freak. Izuku was taking explosions without a quirk to just have marks on him, and he should have been dead. So I'm just saying that they're durable, but a stab wound or a bullet wound, yeah, they're gonna die. But punch to the face and stuff, like thrown around, they're gonna, they're gonna be alive and have maybe a fracture, and that's it. Okay. So if you guys want to say no, he should have won a little more power, please let me know. I will change. I will change that. But anyways, so as Izuku finished off his, he looks back at Bulat as Bulat took care of his guys. He goes, huh, so this is the power of Night Raid. I like it. As basically they're like, Izuku, what do you think? Had any troubles? He goes, no. I think it was splendid. Nice form you took. Anyways, we should get back. We have a meeting to go to. As which, well, it was I think early in the morning. So, basically some of the same, we're gonna go back to sleep. And he's like, fine, I could use a nap too. I was up a little bit during the night. Which they're everyone just wondering, what was he doing? So, they get back to Night Raid. People are taking a little bit of a nap. And, well, when it's Izuku's just waiting for but he's sleeping. So, Shell, basically, this is an hour or two later. Almost at later in the day, so. Shell basically comes over to Izuku, seeing him sleeping. She goes, huh? Izuku? Izuku? He's like, huh? Oh, sorry, Shell. I was sleeping. Huh? Is mine here? She goes, no. Alright. That's fine. I know someone who slept a lot, so I got his habit. Anyways, what do you think I should do? Should I go wake her up? She goes, no, I can. As in basically the boss or Najenta, tells him, says to Izuku, no, how about you go wake her up? He was like, alright, boss. Just have everyone come here, please. I want to get this explanation out of the way. She goes, alright. Shell, can you... Wait, she looks at Shell and she asks, can you get everyone for us? Which she goes, no problem. So she goes away and get everyone. Izuku's walking towards mine room, and basically goes, Cerberus, how should we tell them? Which she goes, well, basically, I can use my power to bring them in. My magical power. He goes, huh. So even when you're a part of me, he goes, yes, I can still use it. But they will meet the past users. The first, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and the seventh. All might still alive, so I know. He would tell me if what I'm doing isn't hero-like. But I'm a vigilante. We don't follow the rules of hero society back home. And, well, hold on, everyone. Alright, sorry, but anyways. So, He goes, alright, well, that'll work. I don't really care if they see them. At least I can explain my world to them. Wait, can we also show them my memories? At least what my world looks like through my eyes. In which Cerberus does this, that would be the most beneficial. They may not believe you. One of them may try to attack you, but whatever you do. I know. Don't kill them. We both have the same motives, but I'm only a visitor in this world and brought here and given a task. They'll just say it's none of my business and kick me out of here. But, as in Cerberus finished his sentence for him, he goes like, we'll still do what we need to do. Damn straight we will. Anyways, I'm in front of her room, talking a little bit. So, Izuku knocks on the door. He's like, mine, you awake? The meeting's starting soon. And, well, you're my supervisor for the day. So, I just want to know if you're awake. She goes, I'm awake. Just give me a minute, I'm changing. He's thinking to himself, oh my god, if I open up the door, she would have killed me with whatever that weapon is she has. Whoever opened up this door will be an idiot. Probably a funny scene too, but still an idiot. So basically, he just went outside the door for her. A few minutes pass, as then she comes out. She goes, "There, I'm done. Happy?" He was extremely. Come on. She was like, "Wow, you seem tired like always." He was like, "Yeah, I haven't been sleeping my normal, well, actually my random sleeping pattern, so I'm tired." I'm playing the character when Zuko being tired, so I'm not really tired, everyone. So, anyways. So, basically, she goes, so what's it going to be about? He was like, who am I, where I come from, and if I have Imperial arms on me or not. Because I'm able to take a blade with my bare hands, and nothing is there. Kami and Leona saw me, so the boss wants to know. Anyways, come on, we're here. So basically, he opens up the door. He sees Shell, Akami, Leona, Bulat, and Lubat. Wait, Lubak. Hold on, I need to double check his name. Lubak is there too. So, as basically the boss says, so, Izuku, tell us, who are you? And where do you come from? What nation or land you come from that'll make you want to. I think basically he holds up his hand. He was like, not land, but dimension, reality, whatever you want to call it. Like, huh? He goes, it'll be easier to explain. Cerberus. Right. Is basically all of a sudden, magical energies coming off of Izuku as basically all of a sudden a dome of shadow appears around them as they just see Izuku's eyes glowing orange, as then they're being pulled into his mindscape. Every one of them. As what they see Izuku there. He goes, welcome. Oh, by the way, if you guys are wondering, is this, the Vesh's world? Yes, it is, but All For One cannot connect to it. So, because it's, for him, it only, Izuku's gone only for, minutes. Only gone for seconds or minutes. So, don't worry. Can't be there. He's not going to find out anything. And basically, though, Cerberus might have disconnected All For One and One For All from each other. So, he couldn't. Because it's, him, being there. He doesn't want no disgusting other person to find out about him. So yeah, anyways. As what they see is, they see 7 people there. And then one big giant 3-headed beast just sitting right behind them. As Zuko goes like, welcome to welcome to my mind. So, this will be the most easiest way to show you who I am and where do I come from and why am I was so eager to join all of you. This is 100% real. Basically, Bulat will be shocked to even, see what's behind the people. And Izuku, even the boss, Akami, extremely. Which everyone else is like, why is there a 300 animal here? Beast animal here. As then Bullock was like, you're Cerberus, the SSS class beast. He goes, so you humans still remember of me and my brethren. He goes, you're the shadow beasts, the legendary beasts that were slain because they, tried to turn to weapons of Imperial. Well, tried to become Imperial arms, but only 3 were ever made. He goes, exactly. Now, what you're about to see is a whole different other realm. Well, you think it's just a made up place, but this boy comes from a world with power. No imperial arms, or well, what we have here now. Witness his world. As basically all of a sudden, the scenery changes as basically the first user comes forward and goes like, what he has inside of what he has is 2 different things. He has a quirk, and then basically they explain. Well, they hear Izuku explain about it, like through his memories, read about quirks, and how 80% of the population has it. The second user says, and all these people who have it become heroes and villains. As then basically they see these images of TVs and Izuku writing notes in it, and basically the third user then says, and at least 20% of the world are quirkless. So basically they go through the whole entire Izuku being quirkless, getting bullied, everything, and then the fourth user says, but there's a quirk that can be passed down. And then they see All Might talking about one for all. And then the fifth, I better say fourth, fifth. I think fifth or sixth user. Yeah, let's say fifth. Right now is then talks about but then there's a quirk called All for One. They basically then talk about All for One, what he looks like, what he's been doing, what he's done. And then basically the sixth user says, and basically this kid has gone to a school to become a hero in training, but became a vigilante. And basically, in the end became a vigilante. And basically they see all of Izuku's, pain, basically he's gone through his training, what he's done, him finding muscular, him basically trying to save an Eri, going through everything from after that, including the war arc with the Shigaraki fight. And basically Nana Shimura comes in and then says, and basically All for One is using my grandson as a vessel to become his new body, so that way he can try to take over the world and become the Demon King. I just read in a comment panel of that. So if I can be wrong, but anyways, but basically they just see Izuku fighting Shigaraki and everything that's happening, and All for One somewhat talking and all that. Basically then Izuku says, so this is my world. See it all from my eyes. As it starts playing all in sequence of what happened, the events. Some, Akami is shot. Bulat is, really pissed off that just because he didn't have a power, he was getting bullied. Shell is, and when Shell and Mine, along with Lubak, as soon as they heard Bakugo tell him just to end his life by jumping off of the building, swine dive, they were pissed. And then, the boss, or Najada, basically sees Zuko's basically persistence to train hard and keep going and to master one for all, and until they get to the Naganta. So, and him get into the building, and then basically, then Hilu, Hilum, aka Cerberus, says, and this is where our story began, and where he was summoned to this world. As then they go see what they told him, what he was here for, and well, what happened to him when he gained, well, the Cerberus gauntlets, and what happened. And when after basically they get to this moment, they're in shock. They were shocked about his world in general, but they were still really even shocked that he saved Esdeath. And he goes, so, that's my story. You guys probably think it's weird. I don't use one for all that much. To travel around, yeah. And to take care of those guys quickly just because I wanted to get to this meeting. Anyways, I'll pack up my things if you want me to leave. In which, well, after basically they leave the landscape, everyone goes back to normal. The entire shadow leaves, and the boss, or Najanda, goes up to him, and he's thinking, I'm gonna get slapped. She just hugs him, actually. She goes, she goes, I could never imagine a child your age, basically, no, not a child, someone your age could have been through so much pain, yet could have still smiled in the end. Your world is very different from ours, and I'm glad you never gave up. As everyone agrees with her, and he was like, wait, you're not seeing me as a freak? As Akami comes up and says, no, you're still a Zuko. Your personality changed to, wow. He goes, yeah. Handle the killing if I need to. I wasn't too sure. But because of Cerberus, I was able to kill without mercy. But in truth, that little girl was just a monster. So, I didn't see no point in caring. But that was also due to the mental, my personality change or mental difference. But anyways, why were you guys shocked when you saw the blue hair girl with that mark on her chest? It was like, that was General Esdeath, Lubach says. Like, the most dangerous general around. He was like, huh, really? She really didn't seem that dangerous to me. She's really cute, though. I gotta admit that. I like the blue hair. Which, they just look at him, he's like, what? Like, they basically, the boss just laughs a little, and just, wow, you got a nice, different taste in women, do you? He's like, yeah, well, there was this one girl I had a crush on, and I asked her out. She rejected me, as you saw. And ever since then, I just acted like it didn't bother me. It did, but at the same time, I used that pain to train more harder than ever. So I should be thanking Ochako for that. Not Ochako. Or Raka. So I'm just being so used to saying first names here. Which they say, I'll say it's understandable. As Bulak says, anyways, Izuku, we're basically gonna train harder with your Imperial arms now. But we'll be on the lookout for if we find any other ones. It's like, don't worry about Dragon, aka Diablo. He's probably safe. The one we have to look out for is Leviathan or the Loom. They're almost close to finding him. So, as basically the boss says, got it. I'll be on the lookout. But anyways, you and mine had to go into town. Shop for more clothing for yourself. Oh, and also get a weapon. He goes, I was thinking about that. Anyways, well, see you guys. As him and mine leave. Mine is quiet on the way there. Even especially when they get into town. He goes, sheesh. I didn't notice that everyone was so miserable. And then basically another town or city next over to the empire, or capital, whatever you want to call it, is just a lot worse here than there. And then she goes, Izuku. She goes, huh? Yeah, mine? She was like, you've barely been for all that, huh? He goes, yeah, it didn't matter to me. I was gonna be coming here no matter what. I had to make a choice to protect my friends, family, or risk them getting hurt. I chose being selfish. I know I'm an asshole. Anyways, so let's get this, this train session on the way. She was right. But anyways, let's get shopping. He's like, actually, yeah, why not? So they go around shopping like we do with Tatsumi, but he gets clothing for himself along with mine getting some stuff for herself. And basically, Zuko goes into a blacksmith shop. He goes, hello? Is anyone here? He goes like, welcome. By the way, Izuku does have money. So he was like, what can I do you for? He's like, well, I don't know. I'm looking for a weapon I can choose. I want basically a sword, but do you mind if I can look at your swords or, well, anyone that is durable, strong? He's like, I do have some in the back. Come. Not many people want to use these swords at all because of the price. He's like, alright. So, basically, Izuku goes to the back and he, sees the swords. He basically sees a longer sword than him, bigger than him. It's a great sword. He sees a short sword. Basically, he just sees, a sledgehammer, a mace, or, mace hammer. But then he gets to this one sword. But I have to remember the name of it. Hold on. Okay, so basically Zuko's stopping at this one sword. Someone asked for this. I'm just like, okay, why not? Since they asked for me to give them a weapon, so I was like, okay, I may mess up this name, but anyway, so basically Zuko sees this. He sees it's in the sheath, but he's very impressed by the way it looks. He doesn't know what the blade looks like yet, so he was like, do you mind? He goes, that sword? Nobody ever wants any of these weapons, but that one especially. He goes, really? Yeah. He goes, alright. So basically he takes the he takes the sword that's in the sheath, and he takes it out of it. In which he sees this blade, it looks like it really can cut through, basically someone with ease. He goes, huh. Why would no one take this? He goes, that's a sword of a king, a former one. Okay, I'm gonna basically mess up this name, but basically he says the sword Anduril. Basically Anduril, so Anduril. So yeah, let me just double check that. Yeah, I think I got it right. So basically it's Anduril, and they basically said Flame of the West, basically, but anyways, the way it looks like, just type in Anduril, Lord of the Rings. That's the way it looks. Alright, okay. So he was like, That was from a king that died a long time ago. But uh, anyone who tried to wield it always died a mysterious death. You don't want it, kid. And he goes, no, I'll take it. He goes, really? He goes, yeah. I like my odds. He goes, what Cerberus says, interesting. Let's see what will happen if we have this sword. He goes, yeah, let's. So he goes, how much? He goes, it's free. Just take it and go. Basically, I see it as this. The sword's out of my shop, the less I have to worry about someone dying from it. If I hear you're not dead in 3 days, you're lucky. Thanks. So he basically sheaths the sword and basically he can feel this energy that's on it. All of a sudden it just disappeared. He just noticed it. He goes, Cerberus, what's that? It was a curse. It seemed the sword chose the wielder. It's interesting. It seemed like my brother, Diablo's. No, it couldn't be. This couldn't be that king's sword. That king? Yes. But mine's waiting. Let's go. He's yeah. So basically, he says bye to to the owner of the shop, the weapon shop / blacksmith, and leaves. Basically he puts on his back and stuff, and she goes, "So, did you find a? You found a sword?" He was like, "Yeah, just need to be taught how to swing this thing. Then, well, I'll probably be a master swordsman in no time." Anyways, come on. So basically, they continue on what they do, and they stop the calf or shop where Tasmi and her got their drinks, and then she goes, "Mission accomplished," and he's like, yeah, got a sword and clothing." She goes, "I'm surprised you didn't really get anything green." He goes, "What? I'm liking the color black. Also, I mean, better off I have it at night. I do got some blue clothing and a couple of jackets, a couple more white shirts because he's in his white shirt, vest, black pants, and black sneakers. There's like a couple more different clothing, the same as mine, but a little bit different." He's like, "Yeah, I know." Anyways, so I know what you're probably thinking. I'm gonna be a jerk about it, saying I'm just superior and all that, blah blah blah, and I have like a lot more battle experience than you. I would have actually by now, but seeing what you went through, she then clenched her fist. I can't say any of that. You're way more superior to me than combat. He goes, "Mine. I may be superior to you in combat, but look, I'm not superior to you than in, superior to you than in, what we do. So, you're still superior, my superior. So don't worry." Besides, I really had fun today. She goes, which, mine does blush a little bit, and she goes, "Same." And, then they see people, running over to, and, basically two of these people that are being executed. And when Zuko and her get there, he's like, "What the? This is inhumane. Why are they just where everyone can see it? They're being slowly killed." The scene's not. I don't really want to describe it very much, but basically they're on basically they're on a wooden stand. Like basically there's a pole going down and there's a pole going across, and they're on it. They're bleeding heavily. Some actually have arrows in them and stuff. This is basically just a pure on execution where everyone watched them slowly die. And she goes, "The minister allows this brutality to be shown." And basically then she goes on how she's never going to be like them, blah, blah, blah. And, Izuku's like, "He's an evil bastard. That's for damn sure." So, what about His Highness? Which she looks at him and goes like, "We'll talk about that later." He's like, "Gotcha." So, basically, they get their things and leave. Same thing goes on with the palace and stuff, and they basically are getting back to the base. As soon as they get back, they say they have a mission. So, but Zuko says, "Hold up, what is it?" Basically, they say our target is the minister's honest, distant relative, local, like local, basically LOKAL. I don't know how to say it right, so I'm just saying locale, I guess. Locale, yeah, locale. And basically, he's in his mansion. It's like, Azuku basically looks at all of them. He was like, how many targets? Like, huh? About 5 bodyguards and him. Why is that? He was like, well, can you just explain why? He goes, basically, she explains how he basically used his influence of his, distant relative's name, and then brings these women to play, to basically his place, just so he can beat them to near death. And his bodyguards are basically equal as guilty. And he goes, gotcha. Can I handle this alone? They're like, huh? He goes, I have to see if I can, do this stealth. Uh, you know, see if I can actually assassinate someone like an actual assassin for stealth. Which they're just looking at him like, are you crazy? He's like, what? Come on, we all have to try it out sometime. And besides, it's better off if I try this out on this one. 5 targets plus 1 major one. And then get this done pretty easily. And they're just like, looking at him as crazy. But the boss then says, alright, but you only have an hour. You gotta take at least everyone with you as backup. Alright, so the signal will be is me punching through the roof. There'll be a big giant air current going up. Alright? Basically, they all just nod. So, basically, though, the boss says, also, Zuko, nice sword you have there. He was like, thanks. So, anyways, let's get going. Oh, ish. I wanted to ask a question though, real quick. So, when we basically take down the minister, what's gonna happen to the king, aka the child emperor I was told on the way here? Which, she goes, he'll be executed. He goes, huh? Are you serious? He was like, that's if everything goes that's everything goes bad. He goes, alright, that's basically the worst case scenario, right? Which the boss nods. He goes, he is just a kid, so if this is out of his own free will, I say, alright, but if you guys know what Cerberus can do, then, I get to see the people, what they have done, the blood on their hands. If he has none, then it's just the minister manipulated him, using his age and inexperience to his advantage. And besides, even if you basically killed the child emperor, I don't know how old he is, probably 10 or something. If you killed him and put someone else in charge, it may even become even worse. So why not just keep him alive and teach him the right way and everything? And everyone just looks at him, and then mine just says, that's the very first smart thing you ever said. And he's like, ouch, but thanks. In which the boss, Najana, says, you're right. I'll tell the Revolution Army about the generals there. If they agree with this, we won't have to do that. We'll teach them the right way. And he goes, don't let them teach him. They're probably also corrupt. You're not. How about you teach him? He probably doesn't. I don't know if he has a mom or not, or a father. So he just needs the guidance of someone very kind and caring. Besides, boss, you may make a good mom. So, as basically he's just walking away, which everyone was shocked by that. And she just chuckles. She goes, Izuku Midoriya, you always have a way with words. Alright, everyone, mission start. So, as basically they get into the location, basically they're on the hill where Tatsumi and mine would be. As he goes like, alright, so that's the place. He goes, yeah, we got here really quick. Thanks for the lift. He goes like, no problem. Black whip has really come in handy and float. Float. Wait. Yeah, float really comes in handy when carrying people too. She goes, I can't. Basically, Blue Box says, I can't believe it. You can actually fly with these quirks. They're like awesome. He's like, yeah. Don't sweat it. Don't make a big deal out of it. Anyways, that's a place. I can basically sink from the ground and travel. So the shadows are my allies. My ally, basically. I'll find him relatively easily. The thing is that you guys, well, I don't know if you guys ever think about keeping them alive and don't kill them right away until you can get some information out of them. Which they all just look at him, and Akami goes like, what do you mean? He was like, this is the relative of the minister. Maybe he has some files or documents written to him to cover up some murders that he had, or even locations of people he wants gone or something. Hell, even just information on some, well, how should I say this? Unsavory things like slave traders, which they all just look at him, at each other, then at him, and they're like, why we never think of that? He goes, I don't know. Anyways, see ya. As all of a sudden, he basically goes to a tree that has a shadow going across the ground, as basically he just suddenly goes right into it. As mine goes like, he thinks a lot more than what we, should be doing. Which Bula says, it's kind of interesting. Maybe we'll have a lot more targets. We never know. We just get told by what we need to go after. If we find any more that needs to be killed, then we'll just go after them. Hopefully. The boss will let us. Which, based on comment, was like, probably. And Leona is like, it's interesting how he just thinks of this stuff so easily. I mean, technically, he's not mumbling no more, so. Which they all just nod. So, yeah, so basically, Izuku's traveling through the shadows. He's seeing through everything what's happening. But then he goes to locales, like, basically chamber, his quarters. He's like, I should probably get going. Hannes is probably gonna be waiting for me soon. He hates when I'm waiting for me. As in, all of a sudden, Izuku uses Black Whip from above him, and because the shadow he was in, it's above him. So basically, he just shoots Black Whip out of it, but then all of a sudden, it just turns to chains. As Izuku then uses the rafter to basically pull in the chain, because it's going out of his back basically. And basically he's having the chain as he's holding it for the raptors. The locales neck, he's being held up a little bit. He's not, fully. As he goes, basically Izuku just says, "Tell me everything you know about Hannes and what you've done." He's like, I'll never tell you. You'll have to kill me." As Izuku says, that could be simply arranged. Basically, just pulling a little bit more. He's like, I'll let you live if you tell me what I need to know. He's like, fine. There's some documents in my drawers, along with on the bookshelves. And he goes, thank you. As then he lets go, the chains suddenly disappear from his neck, going back to Izuku. As when he basically turns around, he has a knife. He goes like, "Die you!" As the dude just gets his head swiped. Like, the gauntlets appeared, Izuku just swiped, like claw slash, as it just went all the way through the guy's face, killed him. As Izuku then basically, well, asked Cerberus, "Hey, can your eyes see?" Which he nods. I mean, well, Cerberus says they can see if where they are. It's not 100% accurate, but it's where he has been the most. It's great. So basically, Izuku's like, going through the files and such. He has found what he was looking for, information on, the basically the minister, the slave traders, what he's done, basically locale and everything. And in the end, Izuku just takes all of that stuff and he was like, I can't carry this out. How do I? He goes, put them into the shadow. The shadow is basically the shadow realm is your ally. It will also hold basically anything you need. And he goes like, it's like an infinite pocket dimension. He goes, yes, actually. Nice. And basically just start pulling them into the shadow realm for him. And then, well, what happens is he goes next targets. So basically, when the shadow he goes into, he was like, huh? Where's the stuff? He was like, oh, well, there's two different shadow realms. There's an item shadow realm and then one you travel in. So he's like, cool. Anyways, trying to find those other targets. And Izuku just, well, he takes care of all the targets. And let's just say he takes them heads as proof he did it. And he even goes back for the locale's head. Well, his body. Well, actually, no. He takes it back to at least one part. Like, there's only 3 claws, so he goes back for, like, he just has, like, the whole entire head. He just scooped it up. Basically, he's like, this is gross, but proof I did it. And then basically he gets back to, his team. He came back holding, like, one head that's held together. He's like, there you go. Proof I did it. As they all just look at him like, you just did all that by yourself? He was like, yeah. Also, the boss is gonna love the information I got. He just throws all those heads back. They go back to where the bodies were, and people start screaming. Alarms are going off. He's like, "We should get going." They're like, "Yeah, pretty much." And so basically, they just ran back all the way to this night raid. So, if you guys are wondering why did I end that so quickly, it's because I'm only trying to get to like 2 episodes worth of content. So, yeah, I still need to go through one more. Episode. So basically, they get there, and well, and everything goes like this. They tell the boss what happened, and she's impressed by it, and he goes like, that's not all. As when he snapped his fingers, all of a sudden, books starting to fall out of one shadow. He was like, these are the stuff he had. Supply routes he gets, where he goes, what his, family member him right to, basically the minister and him, and what he asks for favors and such. This may help us win over the young king's, faith, but who knows. As basically the boss nods and goes like, excellent work, Izuku. I never thought about this. We even found some, information now on different people that we may have to go assassinate in the future, but we'll wait until they come as a target, which he nods. So, after that, everyone goes to sleep. Well, Izuku said he can go to sleep. He's tired now. And he does. So basically, everyone just stayed in the room, and she asked, how was he? Truly. Akami says he was quick and efficient. It seemed like the way he brought the heads back, they were clean. Besides, though, locale. He was split into 3. His head, I mean. He's like, huh, interesting. Basically, Butal says probably use the gauntlets It's like, which she does nod. Then the boss, and he goes, I mean, he basically got out of there in and out pretty quickly. The box says, which show was like, yeah, I mean, it is kind of interesting. So, anyways, you know. So after that, everyone goes to bed. Next day, well, actually, meanwhile, there's this guy in the alleyway that kills some guards and said this place is really interesting. Every new target around every corner. Yeah, that happens. So, what happens is this, though. When he wakes up, he immediately goes to training with Tao. Wait, hold on. I need to double check that. Bulot. Sorry. I'm dozing off a little bit. So, it's Bulot. He trains with Bulot in swordsmanship. Well, helping him at least. Yeah, you're probably saying, oh, he's a spear guy. Well, technically, is a handle, like, someone stronger than him on how to, fight them. And he was like, impressive, Izuku. You're using your nimbleness and and their weight against them. He was like, yeah, thanks. And basically, he going in for quick strike, backing away and stuff. And basically, Kami's seeing this. Basically, Bullet goes like, now I understand how you got all those scars. But don't worry, this won't be basically easy. I'm more of a spear guy. Akami's the one that should be trained with more. He's like, I know. It's basically, they, are like locked in a sword clash, and he's like, anyways, you have to train more on a heavy weapon to get stronger. He's like, right. And then Akami says, Izuku, come help in the kitchen. And he's like, okay. So basically, they make what they had in the anime, and they eat, and basically he was like, I'm full, which then Akami eats basically the exact same thing, and well, we go to a couple hours later after the boss receives new target and new information on who will rally with them. So yeah, but anyways, so now it's basically they talk about headhunter Zolok? Let me just double check that. Zenku. And then he goes like, huh, who is Zenku? And they basically Mommy says, well, since you've never heard of him, it's understandable. So they explain about it, and he was like, jeez, anyone would go mad for all that. They're like, I know. So basically then they say about him having a pure arm and such, and well, since he has it, and they know he has it, and he knows already about them, he doesn't care about the history, he says, just let's get this job done. And then the boss says, right, let's get this bastard. And, well, they do their mission at night. So, basically, Akami and him are split, are basically a part of a team. And, well, Zanku is watching them. And he's gonna go after them like he did with Tatsumi. He's going after Izuku like he did with Tatsumi. So, he does exactly the same thing what Tatsumi does. And, well, what Izuku cares about the most is his mother. So, when he sees her, he's like, Mom? No, this is a trick. Basically, she runs away. And he's like, basically, Cerberus says, be careful. He goes, I know. So, he basically follows her, basically in the exact same area where Tatsumi and, I think it's Zonku. Give me a minute. Zonku fought. So, basically, he was like, Mom, that you? And then, well, he was like, probably not. He says that to himself. So, he activates the Cerberus eyes, and then he sees the blood, and everything. He's like, nice trick, Zonku. So, stop with it already. And which Zonku was like, how were you able to see right through it? He's like, I don't know. I mean, person I love the most doesn't live in this world. She goes, oh, she's in the afterlife, isn't she? He's like, yeah. Basically, he just grabs the grip of the sword that's on his back, and he unsheaths it, his Endurol, sword. He's like, so let's see how this your executioner skills as a headhunter are. He's like, I am going to enjoy killing you. It's basically Zuko and him basically. Well, Izuku's starting trying to slash, as in Zanku's basically dodging it, but Izuku's speeding up by using Fajin as he's shot by this, and he was like, "Oh, you got some speed on you!" Which, I mean, Izuku doesn't need to use Fajin, but it's just sort of extra thing, try to shock him more when he basically doesn't use it. Fajin's just like increasing it. Well, actually, he's using it to by the kinetic energy. So he's moving faster for actual normal inhuman strength. He's basically storing up kinetic energy for Fajin. And he's like, thanks for the compliment, but let's kick this up a notch. As well, all of a sudden, he just basically swing randomly, which surprised him. He's not even thinking no more, because he doesn't have that much training in swords. So when Zanku basically dodges the attack, he goes, I got you now. But basically, when he says that, Izuku realized he basically got his, outfit. Which Zanku goes like, oh, it's so wonderful to see. What the? As there's no blood shown, he's like, I sure realize your Imperial arm could probably has much more. As Zanku was like, well, you are, very, very perceptive. Yes, this thing can. As then he's thinking, probably can only see in the dark. It was like, yes, it can. And he goes like, mind reading? Of course. So basically, Akami knows Izuku's gone and stuff. So he's like, besides, your teammate won't find you here. I have enjoyed just killing you. And I get to see that glorious expression on your face after your head's chopped off. Izuku just looks at him and just smirks. He goes, come on. Show me what you got. And he's like, what? I bet you can't even lay one cut on me and make me bleed. He's like, are you mocking me? He's like, what? Don't want to try to cut off my head no more? So, you immigrant, you little piece of shit! I'll kill you! Basically, he just runs over to Izuku and basically tries to strike him. Izuku just dodging it so easily, using, basically jumping around stuff. He's like, come on, you're so slow! What's happening? And it's basically like, how are you? He's like, getting so fast? Well, let me tell you something. As basically, he jumps back and, he basically gets into a final strike. He's thinking, I'm gonna get into this one last attack, put everything I have into it. In which Zanku's like, oh, yes, let's see if we can end this. I can't wait to see your head fall off your neck. As basically he was like, by the way, hey Zanku, see what I'm thinking now. As he does see it, but then all of a sudden he hears multiple voices, and then he's like, what the? How do you? And then he just hears Cerberus roars, even seeing him. He says, what the? As basically Izuku then just starts moving so fast because he used Fajin to increase his speed. Zanku doesn't even have a time to react, and which he basically slices, his neck like a kami would, and Zanku basically dies anyways. He just falls to the ground, and Akami just arrives there because she heard all the, Zanku was hitting the ground with his blades. She just saw Izuku did that. In which then Zanku falls to the ground. The muffs that go around his ear, part of the, Imperial arms, breaks. He was like, the voices, they stopped. How delightful. Thank you. Izuku. Just Izuku. And then basically Izuku, swings his blade to get the blood off, and then basically sheeps it. Akami was like, well done. He was like, it's just a lucky strike. He didn't know about my quirks, so I was able to use a cheap tactic. Any win for assassin, right? She does nod, and he goes, come, let's go. So basically, they go, they get everyone, and they leave. And we go to the next day. Zuko's just looking over, well, just sitting near, well, just standing naturally, looking out into the distance of the cliff that, well, you know, Tatsumi would do, but sit. He's like, huh, I can really not get used to this view, but I know, I know basically the thing was, basically imagine though, like where he was like talking about how to like get off his head and see his expression on. It's like they actually did the whole entire thing where, it was like the whole entire sequence of like this different artwork shown about when people are being monsters and such. Yeah, so it was just like that with it. Just so that's why Izuku would had no hesitation in killing him. Besides, he basically was taking off people's heads and stuff randomly and civilians. So he had no choice in the matter. The dude was a monster anyways to him. But he's like, even though he was a monster, if he heard voices, that made him go crazy. Corruption really does mess you up. Because it's not easy to be an executioner. Probably that Imperial Arms didn't even help him that much either. I know I shouldn't feel bad, but I just do for some reason. Then Cerberus says, that's a good thing. He goes, huh? What do you mean? He was like, that means you still have your humanity, Izuku. You're not a monster. But this ain't an easy job. I can tell you that much. When you go back, you will be different, like we all said. But you have friends here that can help you. Even friends there. You can get help. And I'm gonna always be with you. Alright? He goes, yeah. If I used my Imperial Arms, I could have killed him. Way too quickly. I wasn't really sure if he was just, a monster. Just some serial killer. But luckily, I didn't feel him. Luckily, he was actual monster in human clothing. And also Kami, as in basically he just catches that apron. He was like, I know. We gotta make dinner. Come on. Right? He goes, It's basically all meat today. He's like, come on, we have to have some vegetables with it. She goes, no, meat. He's like, fine, I'll make vegetables for myself. And she basically looks at him. She goes, Izuku, how did he trick you? He was like, He basically, I guess his Imperial arm was, well, basically to show the person I mostly cared about. And he goes, huh? How? He's like, I saw my mother. Right, her eyes widen and he goes like, that was the biggest mistake he ever made. She doesn't live in this world. So, he just looks to his side, looking at her. He goes like, so he made his biggest mistake cost him his life. And he should have just killed me right then and there. But his blade would have broke anyways, because my skin's 10 times tougher than any blade here. Probably even your Imperial arms. I mean, you did try to cut me already with it, so she does nod. It probably would have bounced off, which Cerberus does tell him it would. It would have bounced off. Not even leaving a nick. It would just bounce off, and it's like actual metal hidden metal. It's like, thanks for letting me know. Which he goes, what's that look for? He's like, oh, just Cerberus told me what would happen if you tried to. Your sword would have bounced off, and it's just metal hidden metal. So she's like, well then, you mind cleaning my blade for me every now and then? He's like, Why? Because that's the only weakness I have. If I get nicked, I'll die. She's like, fine. You just owe me some food then. She's or some lessons. Alright? She goes, alright. We'll start your training in swordsmanship later. First, dinner. Basically, they get to the night raid base and, well, they cook the dinner. That's where I'm going to leave it off, everyone. I hope you like this part. So, the next part is gonna be where Leviathan comes in. Alright? You're gonna find out what's gonna happen. It's gonna be kind of like a murder thing with the gauntlets of Cerberus and the Leviathan gloves. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoy it. Bye. Have a nice day, night, wherever you are. Bye bye.